go ahead and get started with our usual checkered deck warm-up. Alright. Easy enough. Ran. I'll take that if there's nothing in here. Oof. Yeah, it's probably barely worth. Now we do have to draw some of those face cards. They surely do exist in this deck. There we go. Alright, we want to go spades. Not just because that's where we drew our face card, but that's where our face cards are going to be active. Oh, man. These are not ideal. Sure. Guess we'll take that for now. Oof. It's not...
Well met.
Thank God. Yeah, I guess. Casting, thank you for the 3. As far as like my second month 3 days ago, I was thinking the same thing. Twitch has weird timelines sometimes. One more. Pants. Big guy. Sponge. Okay. Actually, this boss could help me. I need help. That is not it. Speaking of SpongeBob. Alright, this will make the potential Wraith a little less painful. And it'll make the Immolate all the sweeter. Alright, maybe with that telescope we can get by here. No, you. Okay, goodbye. At least we got blue value. Why is that so cheap? Net $1? Stonks moment? I guess I just don't have a lot of jokers is why it's so cheap. Not sure why I felt the 4 was so important to keep there. Well, there goes all our molts. Oh! Okay. That's something that can save us. As is the Empress. here.
Well met.
Saffit. Thank you for the 2. Yerp. Sell out of these 2. Okay. We've got a 6 to discard. The Supernova does mean that we can actually use our discards again since we're probably out of the Grimbo. We're probably selling these 2. Does mean, like, what better time than now? What better place than here? Hermit. Ugh. Would checker deck be better or worse if it were clubs instead of diamonds? Honestly, probably about the same. You'd lose the Bloodstone top end, but that's not super strong anyway. But like, Rough Gem and Onyx Agate are both pretty good early game value and scoring options, respectively. But I do think that the everything other than Bloodstone, I think, is vastly underrated as the uncommon suit jokers. Yeah, Onyx Agate is very good early game scoring. So is Arrowhead, for that matter, though. Oh, no! Why did you show me 2 aces there? Do you like my Rough Gem money? Yeah, Rough Gem is very good. Adra, thank you for the membership. Easiest stimulate of my life. It's actually kind of a tough one. I think because we have the rebate, we probably prefer the idea of getting more, or getting a purple pickup. Especially with the discard voucher in the shop. Second Red Seal Jack, we can change that suit. Roll me. Hello. Alright. Queen. I'd be shocked if anyone underrated Rough Gem. People do it all the time in this very chat. It's not bad. Kios. Thank you for the membership. Recently found out I can reset Balatro after my cat stepped on my keyboard and completely wiped the stellar run. Yeah, cats are dangerous. That's why I stick with dogs and raccoons. I mean, I only briefly had the raccoons before someone, I don't know, chased them off with a shovel. Wait, New York Times passive voice before an unfortunate shovel incident occurred. I discarded the wrong queen? Am I stupid? It's fine, we have more. Raccoon involved shovel incident, yeah. I think that's pretty clear as to what happened. Well, at least we've got Jupiter scaling. It's kind of annoying. Definitely manageable. Guess we'll just take more Jupiter. Alright then. Queens. I probably want to drop this here. One of my aunts and her family owned a raccoon for one time. For some reason, her husband bought some raccoon hunting dogs, and they lectured their 5-year-old on why you shouldn't let dogs out because they kill the raccoon, so he threw the raccoon into the dog's pen for some reason. And chat was calling me a monster for protecting my dogs when they are locked in mortal combat with a raccoon. Can one really own a raccoon, or are they just crashing at yours indefinitely? I think that's probably accurate, yeah. Nines. Raccoons aren't domesticated yet? Yet. Boiled again. Well, we only need the spades through the boss blind. Do want some more of these. Nine. There we go. Wait a minute. 9. Never seen a raccoon in my life. They're bigger than you think. Meaner too. Or at least they're fatter than you think. Or rather, this one was. I don't know. Are we taking that arrowhead? Honestly, the boss mine probably doesn't even matter that much. Alright, I've got seed money. Kings. I do think it looks like we're going queen, so let's keep strengthening that direction. Got to hold a baby raccoon when I worked at an animal shelter. Super chunky guys. All right, so it's not just me besmirching the name of all or of raccoons everywhere. They're just kind of like that. And you know what? I love that for them. Without reroll vouchers, rental chaos is always cheaper than rerolling, right? I mean, even with, if you're rolling more than once, chaos is always going to be cheaper than rerolling. Alright, hopefully we can find something that wants us to move out of the riffraff so that we can justify taking that constellation here. Raccoons aren't fat, they're friend-shaped? I can assure you that isn't always the case. When they're hissing at you, they are definitely not friend-shaped. Chaos is 4 and regular is 5, so you save $1 for the better. No. You save... If you're gonna roll the second time, you save $5. Right? Because it goes back to 5, whereas the second roll would be 6. So in reality, it probably saves you $6 in that instance if you're rolling anyway. Oof. Bummer. At least we get through, though. But how do I... Where did my... Did I get an immolate somewhere? I must have. Alright, our scoring is not good enough right now. Probably should have just been the Justice. $50 chips. Have we seen a single? Thank God. They need to invent mini elephants. The zoo near me had some baby elephants. They always just consistently put on an incredible show. Every time I'd go over there, they were doing something goofy and playing around. Like, last time they were wrestling in the mud. I misclicked horribly there.
Well met.
But they're always spinning their trunk around in circles. I might have died due to my misclick, by the way. Hunter, thank you for the prime. Baby elephants are hilarious because they act like it's their first day with legs every day. Yeah, when they get running, you can really see the momentum start taking over. And then also they operate the same way when it comes to like their trunk. It's like the first time they've realized, every day is the first day they've realized they have a trunk. Big fan of baby hippos? Yeah, we've had a few of those in the area as well. Jupiter. This could kill me, but I do love a Sixth Sense. We got 2 Jupiters. How could we die? I need to roll a little bit harder, though, because I don't want to die here. Actually, now that I think about it, we probably can't even play towards the Sixth Sense, because I might need all of these flushes. Maybe not with the steel. Great value. Well done. Molt, please. Nope. No 5s. There's one. These lucky cards are terrible. All right. The Sixth Sense was way, 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 way too greedy. Need to find something else. Probably not these. We're just not going to play towards the Sixth Sense, maybe. 5s again. Oh! Huge. There's the lucky hit. Whew. All right. It's 3 wheel hits and 3 foils. And back-to-back tarot merchant. Okay, we're finally getting this constellation doing something. For Acorn is not a problem. Maybe with this Justice we can justify a Sixth Sense hit here. What? That was pretty good. So is that. Jeez. Guess it's you. The riffraff is back. Probably want another piece of glass. The hungman anyway. Here. Don't want to have to risk the glass. I'm going to risk the glass. I use the world because I want to keep the hearts. Because I've already passed the heart boss. But it's just one. Yeah, that's not a good use of a resource when it could save me in a moment where I draw like that and instead die. No, that's the rebate. I've lost track. My jokers. There's Chad. Oh. Wrong order, unfortunately. I think it was Queens. Alright. Still have 2 6s left. Sturdy glass? I mean, I played 2, right? That's in line with expected. It would be atypical if, bummer, glass had broken. You played 3 already, did I? Even still, that's in line with expectations. Here. Probably don't need the glass right now. $54 mold is nice. Yeah, it's about 2x when we don't play enhanced cards. Nightmare, thank you for the raid. I think we had an odd Todd earlier, so you'd be proud of me. I hope the match went well against Edsy. I couldn't see the end of it, but looked like you were owning him with facts and logic as usual. Well done. GG's. Ignore everything I just said. Edsy, thank you for the raid. Welcome. Welcome. Hope you had a good time with the matches, though. You're not gonna believe this. We're looking for a photograph. We've got a level 27 flush and a lot of queens and purples. They're gonna see if we can pivot this. Oh, I forgot I have 6 cents. Great lucky cards. Wow. Incredible. Huh? Huh? What better time than now, right? Look, we don't want to reject it and have Nightmare take back the raid. That would be like not taking Bloodstone after an Edzy raid. Whoops. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. Wow. Really glad I hung on to the 6 cents for as long as I did. How can we blame this one on Edzy? You know what? No, maybe it's Nightmare's fault for forcing us to, or for cursing us after not taking the odd Todd. The Rosie is contagious? No, no. This one's all on me. It's my fault for doubting the value of Oddward Toddward. Yeah, we'll get lucky cards on our way out. Look, the important thing that you have to consider is I got Incantation off of that, so... You say I lost, I say I win. And Incantation is odd Todd value.